Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Milan Desai. I'm the head of solutions and sales for Easy Data Munch and a co-founder as well. We welcome all of you. Please feel free to ask any questions in between if you want, or we can reserve the questions at the end. Idea here is to talk about what digital analysis is all about and what kind of challenges that we are seeing today in the market, and how do we really measure the effectiveness of a digital campaign. I think that's one of the questions that I keep getting from a lot of our customers, and we try to answer that question by analyzing data and various other things that we see. So just a brief introduction. I'm the head of sales and solutions, a co-founder of Easy Data Munch. We are a company that is into data analytics space for the last 4.5 years. We've been working with various companies in different industries: high-tech, retail, manufacturing, insurance, transportation, logistics, hospitality, healthcare. So we've been working with companies across the board in different industries, and it's a very different experience to see how everybody's utilizing digital data nowadays, and what they're trying to do with the data, and how they're trying to improve their customer experiences at the end of the day. So briefly talking about what are the typical challenges that we see in customer acquisition or growth, or basically, who are my customer? How can they get to spend them more? How often they come in my store? How often they use the loyalty programs? How do they interact with you? If I have to put a new store or a new location, what is the ideal location, and so on and so forth. From social data perspective, as all of us know, there are a lot of things that we drive through a digital marketing campaign. It can be an awareness campaign. It can be an opinion campaign where we ask surveys and other findings. We also look at consideration, consumers who were using the products, and we want them to consider back and see whether they can come back. What kind of preferences they like, so they want to opt in, they want to, and basically draw them to purchase something. I think that at the end of the day, that's what every one of you, how you can draw them to purchase your products and services. So what typically a social data analysis drive? It's in terms of business discovery and social DNA. So we are looking at the brand impact and the sentiment analysis of the brand in terms of how your brand is performing against your competition, how your brand has been performing over a period of time, how your brand has been performing for various products and services with different customer segments, different location, so on and so forth. How you are perceived as a socially active organization by your consumers and by your customers. Campaign planning, which is the core of what we are going to discuss today. How you design your campaign, how you carve out your campaign assumptions in terms of who you want to target, why you want to target, what's the goal or the objective of the campaign. How do you really measure whether the campaign has been successful, knowing what you've done, and how do you take the results of this campaign and take it back and improve the next campaign that you're planning to run. Competitive benchmarking. So when you run a campaign, what's the cost of your campaign? What kind of impressions? What kind of customer targets that you achieved? And how does it compare with some of the best campaigns that we have seen and are run by various organizations? And where do you stand? Accessibility of information, accessibility of data. I think so it also becomes a big thing, because unless you can analyze this data effectively, you won't be able to really measure and improve upon what you've done so far. what we typically recommend as part of the best practices is you need to have a platform that allows you to integrate your data sources from various channels that you will be using for digital campaigns. So, for example, you're using website data, impressions data, visitors data from Google Analytics. You're using running campaigns on Facebook or Twitter or any other social platforms like Pinterest or Instagram. You need to get that data and put that data in a single platform or a data lake, which will allow you to analyze the consumer behavior across the board. If you're utilizing campaign management tools like Adobe Omniture or any other campaign management tools from Salesforce or other CRM system, then also getting that data, your consumer data, and mapping that data with impressions data and other digital data that you're getting, it's paramount importance from knowing how your consumer or customer is behaving from channel to channel. Like when a customer comes in from a website and goes onto a mobile device, and from mobile device he jumps back to some other method of walking into the store or getting coupons through third parties or other websites. We need to know how your consumer behavior is going to impact effectively the goal that you set, maybe an increase in sales. That's the real objective here. So, well, as I mentioned just now, the data can come from emails, can come from loyalty programs, can come from mobile apps, can come from websites, your payment systems, your post transaction, your survey data. So the data is coming from a lot of places here, and idea is how do you effectively make a use of these data. So increasing customer retention, purchasing frequency, determining key focus, driving the loyalty programs. We are having loyalty programs. So there is a lot of this data that we want to analyze, and idea is this is how it will help you effectively manage your customer churn rate. So we have some sample examples, and we'll go right into those dashboards right now, and we'll talk about how these dashboards can really help to analyze. So this is our Easy Data Munch portal. It's a cloud-based solution whereby we can aggregate data on behalf of our clients, and then we provide them various dashboards and various analysis platform, which can really help them to understand the ROI on the marketing campaign perspective. So let's look at an ROI simulator. I think that this is one of the things that we look at from our customer side. We have seen that when you run a marketing campaign, so when we are looking at marketing ROI, what are the typical things that you're looking from an campaign perspective? So we are looking at overall appreciation by the customer that they like your product and services. What is the typical repurchase intention of that customer is going to be? Whether they consider your product and services as value for money. So you can set your targets and say what is a typical target the customer should think about, and judgment about your digital marketing program. So whether it's a loyalty program or a digital campaign program that you may be running, then whether that benchmark that you have, whether the customer thinks that there's a value in terms of what you're looking for. So that just to briefly explain, the platform that we have here allows us to, with our various connectors that we have. So the various connectors that we have, it allows us to basically connect various data sources. So we have various connectors, as you can see here from this slide. We have connectors for almost most of the digital space out there available. So we have connectors for Google Play Stores, iOS Play Stores, or Instagram, or Pinterest, Salesforce, Cloud, Survey like MailChimp, or if you're running campaigns, Google Analytics, AdWords, everything that you can think about. We also have connectors for sentiment analysis if you want to run a sentiment analysis on top of your campaigns or the data that we collect. So we collect all this data on behalf of our customer and basically create these dashboards by integrating all those data sources. We also get data if you have email, customer interactions through emails or phone calls. We also get those data and do text analytics on that data to bring in the consumer responses, for example, here. So in terms of how your consumers are rating, if there are any issues or concerns that the consumers may have, then how your email penetrations have been in terms of sending out campaigns through emails and things like that. We also provide a very high analysis of marketing costs, or how your marketing costs are being run. If you're running any coupons, then whether the coupons have been, how many coupons have been consumed, what kind of revenue traffic that you can expect from the campaigns that you may be running. So this also gives you, this is an example of an airline, and we are looking at what kind of traffic that they can expect based on the campaigns that they're running. So there is a lot of value that can be driven through the data analysis that you can do by consolidating your data across the board. We are also looking at predicting your revenue, or whether you will hit the numbers that you set for. Let's say you are looking for making 5% increase in your sales because of the campaign that you're planning to run. By analyzing this data on an actively day-to-day basis during the campaign process, you can actually see whether are you going to meet that number, or what is the likelihood of meeting that number, or are you going to miss your target and you need to do something else. So the advantage of doing this way is basically for you to make sure that you are not waiting till the campaign is actually going to end. You can change course of action. You can make some adjustments in your campaign plan by looking at the data on an ongoing basis during the campaign itself. Similarly, we are looking at there are different templates or different kind of examples we have. If you are a company that is looking at your mobile applications, if you're looking at analyzing data through your mobile apps in terms of how many downloads have happened and what kind of revenue, what kind of metrics your customers are hitting, then we are also basically providing you an information, this kind of dashboard where you can look at the downloads, the revenues, the ranking, the reviews of your customer across the board through your apps that are there. And this application basically collects data across the board from each mobile store that you may have been using for your application. So you're looking at loads, you're looking at more information around different downloads criteria, different app stores, different metrics in terms of active installs or devices that they're installed on, how many downloads in terms of yesterday, 7 days ago, 4 weeks. So there is a lot of that data that you can analyze here by country, by devices. And this allows you to basically understand what is happening with your consumer base, what is happening with your key campaigns that you're running on various platforms. So idea is to get one unified view of what kind of revenues you are able to attract or generate from the customers, the campaigns that you're targeting, and whether that revenue is in line with what you're generating. So that's the whole point of how we effectively measure all these across our customers today. So you're looking at a revenue number here. So you can also look at ranking. So you can compare your application with similar applications in the App Store. You can also compare between paid application versus free application category types or different categories that you may have. So there's a lot of data that we get in from the App Store that can allow you to compare different things that you're looking for. We also provide a brand management or brand analysis. So we are looking at customer value, what we call is a customer value analysis application. So I think we just saw that. And so this is basically allows you to completely look at your marketing plan across the board by week, by month, by date, by geography, by business unit, by segments that you're running on customer segments. It looks at your opportunity trend, your funnels, and in terms of the campaigns that so let's look at campaign ROI. So now you're looking at who was the campaign owner, what kind of ROI, how many inquiries, how many leads, what kind of qualification you have. Now this can be applicable to the B2B campaigns or B2C campaigns. We are looking at brand mind share, so how your brand is being perceived in terms of other competing brands, the growth that you're seeing, brand tracking, the message impact that you may have. So if you're having different messages that have been delivered in different campaigns, then how that message has been perceived and how that impact has been. We are also looking at the impact of the message, so different sales playbook that you may have, different kind of documentation or business area that you're looking for. We also have an integration with Marketo, so we can bring in the data from Marketo if you're using Marketo, and also provide you that kind of analysis in terms of what's the contribution by marketing on various campaigns here, as you can see, and how much impact or commercial impact or the sales impact that you're going to see because of that. So again, the idea here is to look at all the data that you have and basically analyze that information across the board. This is an example that we have, which is digital dashboard, where we are getting information from Google Analytics and also all your other digital channels. And now if you're a digital marketing agency, you can look at the data across your customers in a single dashboard, or if you're just a marketing team, then you can look at across all campaigns in a single dashboard. So you're looking at how much visits I had, what kind of unique visitors I have. I can go back by year or month. So some of these features that you're looking for, if you have to subscribe this to on Google Analytics, it's going to cost you $150,000, whereas what we are offering is a subscription model where you can get all this data at a fraction of a cost, and you can analyze this data across the board, across your campaigns, your customers, based on whatever you're looking for in terms of information. And there are various metrics that you can target here. You're looking at different app stores. So we are combining data, not just from Google Analytics, but you're looking at data. So you can bring in data from your competitors. You can bring in data from and see how you are faring against your competitors, or what kind of different sentiments that your competitors may have. This is another visualization in terms of looking at page views by geography or location. You can get down to zip code level if you want to get down to that level. So idea is, how do you want to really look at this information, and how do you analyze this information for your campaign ROI perspective? And then you can add this information by looking at, so we're looking at Google Analytics information on the top here, and then we are also looking at information around the apps so if there are customers who are using in mobile applications or an authenticated application whereby they sign in, you can also look at their impressions along with Google Analytics, the website impressions that they may have. And that can allow you to look at typically which is an area where you need to strengthen in terms of your campaign, your impressions, and so on and so forth. You can select different KPIs, so you're looking at revenue, rankings, different KPIs that you're looking for. Uh, you can look at different things in different perspectives. So I'm looking at impressions going up and down, or users going up and down. This data, again, this is for our own website, so just showing you in terms of how we can get this data. We have a long list of connectors. Just to give you an example here, we have almost more than 50 odd connectors. These are the list of connectors that we have where we can get data across the board for you or your customers. So our idea is, when we're looking at campaign ROI, how do you basically take data across the board, measure your campaign, see the impact? So that's one of the examples that we want to see. That sometimes we have seen, when you're running a campaign, you have an assumption that this campaign is going to do good with, let's say, Hispanic population or white population, but you don't know really which income class it's going to impact, and unless you get the results back. So the analysis is drill down to that lowest of data and provide you feedback that, yeah, the campaign did well, there was an uptake of 5% in sales, but instead of the uptake coming from income class $50,000 or less, the uptake actually came from income class $80,000 and more. So that gives you, again, a feedback, because your control set can be different from the campaign that you ran or the assumption that you have. And, I think so. This is where we are seeing a lot of value, where you can go and adjust, you can go and make some changes in your assumptions, and rerun the campaigns, or the next campaign that you run can be more targeted, can be more effective, and gets you what you need, instead of trying to figure out till the campaign ends, and you have to run a lot of other analysis to know why the campaign was successful, and if it was successful, then what were the reasons why it was successful. If it was not successful, then why it was not successful, and can we make it better? So those are the target, and we have seen that this is another example of analysis that you can do across your competition. So sentiment analysis on the post that you may have, and try to understand how you compete and compare again. So we actually, give me 1 second. We have done analysis of insurance companies across the board in the United States, and basically we have collected data across different insurance companies and what people are talking about them. So we're looking at posts and comments and Twitter feedback, and basically trying to understand how each company is being looked at, and what people are talking about each of the company, and scoring them in terms of their rank on various sentiments. So this is again an area that we can, what we call as a listening boards. So in terms of listening boards, listening posts, you can look at this data for your customer and their products and services, but you can also bring in competition data to see how the users are, how the companies faring, products or services are faring against your competition. We can also look at the key users who are impacting your social media campaigns or reviews or feedback that you're getting. So there's a lot of that information that can be collected here. Again, all this information is available in most of the applications that we have. You don't have to really spend a lot of time and energy to bring this data and analyze this information. You can utilize one of our apps and start basically understanding what's going on across the board. So when we look at Easy Data Munch marketing portfolio application, there are a lot of all these applications allow you to look at your marketing and campaign ROI 360 degrees across the board, and look at your customer analysis per se, and see how you can make improve your campaigns and make more money or achieve your numbers with the targets that you may have. It's almost 10:30. I want to open the floor for any questions that are there. And if you have any questions, if you have anything that you think that you would like to see more, or I would like to open the floor for audience.
I'm sorry to interrupt. My name is Abhinav. I am working with one of the digital marketing companies. So I went through the whole webinar that you just explained. So I wanted to know one important aspect of the dashboard. How much time does it usually take for you to implement a dashboard? Like say we start today. So how much time does it take for you to figure out all the key metrics or KPIs that work for the marketing agency? And what is the time frame for you to implement your dashboard across the company, or maybe like say, as per the user? So what is the time frame?
A typical time frame is anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, Abhinav. So most of the things that we already have all the connectors and all the KPIs typically that you get from most of the digital websites like Facebook, Twitter, or Google Analytics, or Play Stores, and things like that. So we can get the data pretty much instantaneously once we have the credentials to get the data. But putting the dashboard together, we have a lot of templates, so we typically show you the templates if you want to make any changes, or you want to add any new KPIs or new way of looking at things. So I would say that based on the amount of change that you may want, it can be, as I said, a couple of weeks, or it can take more time. But usually it's pretty fast. Like we have to get something up and running by the data, like what I was showing here. We did this in like a couple of days once we get the access to data.
Okay.
And what we need typically to access the data also is just the credentials. We don't need any other information from you. So once you provide your admin or read credentials to your digital properties, then our APIs can go and grab the data instantaneously.
All right, that's fair enough. That's good.
So I can send. I will circulate. I'll send out this document to everybody on this webinar here. All the connectors we have and how these connectors work and how they bring the data in. This is probably one of the most sophisticated way to get information out. And once you get authenticated by most of the digital property, then it's just question of clicking a button and getting all your data basically. So this is our. Let me show you our web. So these are all the connectors that we have. As you can see here, these are all the connectors that are available right now. And we also have some other connectors which you can use. So there are a lot of these things are available. So once you subscribe to our application, you will be able to use all of these as part of your subscription that we have. So this is our portal here. So basically you will be able to look at different applications here that you may have access to. Thank you. It was a good question. Any other question from anyone?
Milind, this is Patrick. Just wanted to know, can you elaborate the proof of concept that was mentioned about that $5,000 thing? Can you just elaborate? That would be useful.
Yeah. So what we typically do, if you want us to work with your data set or your client's data set, as I said, we can use our APIs. We can connect to the data, to the digital properties, and we can use one of our applications and allow you to use that application for a while to see whether you think that is meeting your needs in terms of campaign ROI, or looking at data and analyzing your campaign or impressions data, whatever you're trying to measure. And if it makes sense, then typically instead of looking at and buying anything upfront, this allows you to basically look at your own data or your client's data and see whether it really helps you out, and then make a decision whether you want to really go for a subscription or not.
Okay.
So, because what we are showing here is a lot of these data are mocked up data. So, but if you want to see your own data sets and compare against what you are getting from Google Analytics, because the challenge as a marketing or digital agency that you have today is you have to go to different places to look at your data. So you have to go on Google Analytics to look at your Google Analytics data. Then you have to get some other means to get your mobile app data. Then you have to go on Pinterest or Facebook or Twitter to look at that data. There is no comprehensive. There is no one place where you can get all your data sets and analyze them in one single application. And that's what we bring to the table, that you are looking at all your customer data, no matter which source it is, all your campaign data, all your digital data in one single place.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone? Well, if there are no more questions, I give you guys your 20 minutes back or 22 minutes back. Really appreciate for your time today, and we will send out the video of this webinar as well as the connector list that I mentioned to you, and the presentation that we had shared. And also, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll be happy to have you more detailed discussion. If you want to do a proof of concept that we advertise, if you want to take a pulse on that, would be happy, and also provide you access to your own customized app, which you can try out and see whether it really meets the kind of information that you're looking for. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. And thank you again for spending time with us today.